On with the lesson, the more time you'll have to either work on your homework or play the game. So, yes, game. Once your homework's written down, notes page, please date it. What's today's date? 29. Wherever you have space, some people are showing up. All right, people. We see Mr. Dunn to have a case of the Fridays. We need to realize it's time for class. I know we had form and we've had a fun morning evening to create a start, but we need to relax now and focus. Yes. And do not believe so. So, in your Chromebooks, please log in and get to the digital textbook. So one of you, just whatever Google account you log in with, just get to the digital textbook from there. And somebody at your table, go ahead and pull out your physical textbook so you have another reference point. And we are going to look at 378. Now I'm going to give you a couple of these sheets, but since we're going to use the digital version, you don't necessarily have to use these sheets. However, if you want to play outside of class, all you need to do is obtain a spinner or a die or different things you can code. So I'm just going to drop 2 of these at each table in case you guys decide you want to play outside of class or whatever else. So get to the digital textbook and get to lesson 3.2.5. 3.2.5. Everyone doesn't need to have a who's giving out patient. Good. And you should be getting comfortable navigating the textbook. All right, here's what's up. Check it out. In your digital text. Hey guys, like I said, case of the Fridays, even if you're on a Chromebook, it does not take talking to get where you need to be. If you don't remember how to get to the digital textbook, go to Schoology. On my Schoology page, there's a link saved. Otherwise, you can just search CPM ebook, and you will also get to it as well. Once you're in 325, 325, 325, 325, you want to go and click on the Tug O' War e-game. From there, it will pop up this. Now, please stay quiet for just a couple minutes. Here is how the game works. So if you don't know how the game works, it's not going to be very easy for your group to play. You want everybody to be able to see the computer. Don't pick up the computer by the screen. Then place your marker, whatever you decide your marker is, at 0. You have 6 different colors to choose from. Hey, don't do this yet. You don't know how to play yet, so chill. Hold on just a second. Spin both spinners. You may choose to add, subtract, multiply, or divide the 2 numbers. The result of your calculation determines how many steps you will take and in which direction. What do you think determines direction? Positive, negative. For example, if you spin -2 and a -1 and you choose to add them, you'll get -3, so go 3 left. Note, you'll always land on an integer. We're dealing with integers right now. For each move, record on your papers your starting position, the expression, and the result for your chosen move. So we're going to go one at a time, right? So here, if I was playing, I'm going to pick green. And we can have multiple tokens on the same place, so realize that. And we can drag them anywhere else. So if I spin boom and boom, you're not just spinning 1. I have a 1 and a 1. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, if I subtract them, that would be a bad idea. So I'm going to add them. And I will go 2. So on my paper, what would I write? 0 plus, because I started at 0, right? So I'd say 0 plus 1 plus 1. And actually, I could put that in parentheses if I want. I landed at 2. My next move -3 and -2. I'm going to multiply these, and I'll off to the side say -3 times -2 equals +6. So now I'm at 2 plus my +6 move. I don't really need that in parentheses. Don't know why I did that. I'm going to end at 8. Now I could have, in that parentheses, just put that. So instead of doing it off to the side, I could have also written I'm at 2. I'm going to add the multiplication, but that turns into 6. That will leave me at 8. Questions? You're going one at a turn so that after your turn you can write down your expression. Okay, we're just doing some practice with working with integers. Yeah. Wherever you're taking notes, some people have filled up their toolkits and they're in their math journals now, but your toolkit, if you still have space in chapter 2, that's the better place to write it, because it's got the math boxes and everything. Or 3, yeah. We're in Unit 2, which involves chapter 3. Sorry. Unit 2 of my course of study units, but it doesn't matter. Dive in. Check each other's calculations. Like, say it out loud when you do it. And you can zoom on the Chromebook too. You're going to zoom in a little bit. Zoom the web browser. Most people have found a good spot so that everybody can see it, but please make sure. Guys, just pick your color and play. It does not matter. It's nothing permanent. So whichever color you can click and grab. Really, if you have the most stacked furniture, it can be hard to grab them, so you might just want to move them all for a second. Figure out who's going to go first and have that person go. So you can also change it. So that's where orange is. Whoever's purple, since you're on 0, you get it. You record your movements. How could you make that positive movement? That's 0. How could you make it a positive movement? -3. Can't divide by 0. You divide with 0 on top, that's 0. What about subtraction? What about 0 minus 0? Depends if you want to move positive or negative. You have to do your option. You can do 0 minus -3. Oh, right, yeah. Somebody won? Do you have documented how you got that? Sweet. You guys can play again or keep playing for the people who haven't won. If you have won, I'm going to want to know how. So please make sure your moves are documented. So we had a winner over here. Ava won. No. After, like, how many moves did it take you? Ava, how many moves did it take you?
No, I know.
4? 5 moves. Well, says something about your groups.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get them moving here, bro. You guys, I know. I got one. Wait, maybe. Yeah, I did. No, we got -1. Never mind.
whole end of class playing the game. But we have to get to the lesson. Sorry, I had something in my shoe. Like a small pebble or something. Very, very frustrating. There's like a pea under the mattress. Princess and the Pea. The Princess and the Pea. You don't know that story? The princess was so particular. They kept trying all these different. I forget exactly what the story is, but they like put a pea. Okay.
So they built like a stack of like and then put and then so she's left on it. She's there's something under so they took all the mattress. So they took all the mattresses off.
It's like a kid's. I forget exactly what it's about.
Oh, come on! It's so long.
20 seconds. All right, I want to hear from some winners. How you did. Now, Ava, you were the first person I knew that won. Do you want to clump it right now, or do you want me to write it out? Yeah, I mean, you can just tell me. But I'll write it out. Some kids like working on the smartboard, so.
I got 2 ones.
So we start at 0, so write your different moves that you did. You got 2 ones in a row? What? Not you. Zoom.
I know.
Slow and steady wins the race, right?
Yeah, but I got 2 ones in a row.
Yeah, I only won in 2 turns.
11 or negative 11. Spots are high. You might be like, I was just doing whatever happened. We're going to document a couple ways that we made it to 11 or negative 11. Yeah, you were. So you had time to document what you did. So where'd you end up? Change color. Oh, it doesn't matter. Here, I'll. The calligraphy pen looks nicer, and if you want it to all be blue, there you go. It makes your handwriting look fancy. I'm serious. So here's what we want to do, and here's what Ava's helping us with. You won if you landed on 11 or negative 11. So Ava was the first person to tell me that she won, and she's showing us the moves that took her there. So she started at 0, spun a negative 2 and a negative 1, decided to add them, and got to negative 3. Then her next move started at negative 3. She spun a negative 3 and a positive 1, decided to add them, which got negative 2, but that combined with where she was, she then moved to negative 5. She then started at negative 5, got to spin a negative 2 and negative 2, added them again, ended up at negative 9, and then got 2 positives, which took her to the right to negative 7, and then got a negative 4 and a 0, and finally made it out to negative 11. Did anybody else? Moving Deer, you want to come right? Do you want me to write it, or do you want to write it? You can bring it up if you want to write it. You want me to do it? Oh, so Moving Deer got a bit luckier. Moving Deer had started at 0, and then he spun a negative 3 and a 3. So he multiplied those, and you ended up where, Moving Deer? Negative 9. So then he started at negative 9, spun a negative 3 and 1, and decided to add them so that this became negative 2, which took him to negative 11, and a bit more efficiently, he got to the winning spot. Now, one thing I want you to have written down or make sure that you realize, this symbol right here, a plus on top of a minus, means positive or negative, either of them. So when we want to more efficiently write things in math, I don't need to write positive 11 or negative 11. I can just write that. and say when at positive or negative 11. That's like if somebody told you, hey, the temperature changed by 5 degrees. But that's all they said. You don't know if it went up or down. So that, until they tell you, is a positive or negative. Or like saying, I went 5 miles. Well, you don't know direction. Depends on what direction you think is positive. Most people, if you talk coordinate plane, say north is positive, south is negative. Which here, north, south. And then east, we often talk about positive, west, negative, but depends on how you look at it. Questions on how we combine things? It was really just getting you to practice, like, well, how can I put these numbers together to make what I want? We'll play that more. We'll come back to this. I did not hole punch those. If you want to save it, my hole puncher lives over there in case you didn't know. So let's move on. Those of you with a Chromebook, go ahead and shut that for now. Or log. You don't have to log off if you don't want to, because we might have more time to play the game. So you don't have to log off yet.
It took 11 minutes to get to all that. Okay.
All right, check out 380. I believe that we will win, right? I believe that you guys should be able to work through this on your own. So go ahead and dive into 380. See what you guys think as your team. So you're going to need some textbooks out. Or if you really wanted to continue using Chromebook, you could, but it kind of gets in the way. So Cynthia, Devin, Gavin, and Mark are playing the tug of war game. Just trying to get you centered and started. Should we tape that down? That R. Cynthia began her turn with a marker space at 15. And then you guys can read, so I'm just going to let you guys simply focus now. Dive into it. If I had more class time with you guys, I would love to do all practice in class and never send you guys home. But we don't live in a world like that. I can just have you for like an hour and 20 minutes every day. It'd be good. That's probably what I would. Hour 15. I'd give you a break. Yeah. I can, but that question is unavailable. Do you mean may I or would I? What order? Okay. you something. So wait, so what if we turn that subtraction around? That since you did it the one way and got a positive, what if you do -3 minus 1? If you're at -3, the tiles don't always make sense. You're at -3 and you're told go down one more. Now those two numbers together make -4. Now that can move you left. It's all about how you put the numbers together.
I'm sorry.
So there's we haven't done much of it, so don't worry about the division. The subtraction. Remember that the number tiles that we did yesterday. What the law first described was that I start with a positive. I need to take away a negative. We brought in the zero pairs, right? The positives and the negatives. It's okay if you don't like it. It is that joke, I get it. It's a weird concept. So, we brought in the zero pairs. Then we can take away the 3 negatives. With that left, 3 extra positives. Remember that? That's how we all got that positive 4. Then we'll do the other way, where I start with -3. And I try to take away 1. I don't have any positives to take away. And we're going to play on the chair, you can't have it. Okay? So, I bring in a zero pair, so I can take away that positive 1. But now I have an extra negative, and I now have 4 negatives. So we grab some tiles. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So that would be start positive 3. You don't have a positive. 3 minus 1. You start at positive 3. Go down 1. Well, if we're going vertically, and even if we turn it this way, the positive is positive. But if you go this way, then obviously it's the other way around. But so if we start at -3 right here and say take away 1 instead of this way, we can also have the operation just tell us where to go. Subtraction can be thought of as go down. But addition-wise, if we're subtracting positive. Talk with your team. You got some guys that know what's going on. Okay. So if you had 3 negatives, you can take away 2 negatives. Yes, you can, right? Without any zero there. Wait, you're multiplying what you have shown. But that's not right. What's the right? 6. Me? Yeah. But you might be You talking about -3 times -2?
No, -3 minus -3.
So, if we start at -3, we're essentially starting with 3 negatives. So the question asks is, can I do what it wants me to do? What does it want me to do? Minus -2. Take away 2 negatives. Can I take away 2 negatives? Yeah. I don't have to bring in any zero pairs or anything fancy and take away 2 negatives and I'm left with just 1 negative. Now, if you look at -3 minus -4, you say, can I take away 4 negatives? No. You don't have enough negatives. I have to bring in a zero pair. Right, so it's can you I'll give you a minute to finish up your conversations. Yeah, you can always move on if I don't. Oh, you don't move on without your team.
I'm on 81 now.
Discuss with your team. Your team player. I don't want you to get fired today if you don't work with your team. 20 seconds. Devin? Correct. His marker's on 1 at the point where we start start watching him. All right, bring it back up. So, as we see, this is not the beginning of the game, right? Their markers have already gone to different locations. So when we look at Cynthia's marker, she's way out there at 15, right? A lot has happened, or she's had some high spins. Shoot, I said I wasn't going to shuffle. So, Piper, is there a way that we can get Cynthia to the winning space with her spin of 1 and -3? You did not find one. We can come back potentially. Will?
We first did tracking, find a way for her to get 15, and then she spun a 1, and then -3.
So let's first ask a different question. What does Cynthia need to do to get to a winning spot? Moving gear? Oh, hold on. So you're telling me what I need to do with these. In general, what does she need to do to get to the winning spot?
She needs to subtract -4 from 15 to get to.
Yeah, we just need to move 4 left, right? If I just look at the game board, she needs to move 4 left. What we're trying to figure out is, can we make that happen? So, continue moving here.
You can first take -3, and then subtract that from 1.
-3, like 1 minus -3 or -3 minus 1?
You can do it either.
No, I can't.
Then 1 minus -3.
Okay. Now remember, whatever number we get tells me what direction to go. So if I do -1 minus -3, 1 minus -3 will get me what? No, it won't. 4. If I start with a +1 and I try to take away 3 negatives, I can't, quote unquote, right? Can't. So I bring in these 0 pairs. Then I take away the negatives and I'm left with extra positives. This is 4. Takes me off the game board. Moving gear, you totally just broke the rules. You left the game.
And you have to subtract, you have to make 15 minus.
I can't. The game says whatever number I get tells me what direction to go. Now, so I have to add. I can do whatever I want with these numbers, but then it's going to add to where I am. So, here's the interesting thing. To get the opposite of what we had, switch the order. So if I instead do -3 minus 1, if I'm at -3 and I go down 1 more, it's like being in the caverns and going even deeper. I'm at -4, 15 plus a -4 is 11. Cynthia can win. So we should use subtraction for the values we got in the correct order to make -4, then I can win. Questions? Will, what about Devin? His marker's on 1.
So you have to add it,
This gives you 11?
Oh, no.
Blech. Alright, Fridays and Mondays are hard days.
So then that would give you my brain today.
4 sets of 3 negatives. How many do you have total? Negative 12. Then that tells me move left, right? Because it's a negative, I have to go left. If I'm at 1 and I go left 12, Devin wins now. Yay, Devin. Gavin, Alana, Gavin is at 12, and he gets negative 3 and negative 2. Is there a way we can get Gavin to win? Alana, I hope you're not saying to start talking. Okay, Alana. Sorry, I said her name at the beginning of the question. Alana, do you know? Or you can tag in your group. Negative 3 and negative 2. First, think about what you want to do. While they discuss for a moment, what do we want to do if we're at 12?
-1.
Either move 1 left or a lot left, right? 23 left. So we're gonna think move 1 left. Alana, is there a way that we can move 1 left? Or
Okay, you could do 12 plus -3 minus -2.
so you're saying negative 3 minus negative 2, which I wrote those in the. Your minus should be in the middle and your negative should be a little bit higher. When we're writing minus a negative, you can also just do it like that. Or you can put the negative in its own parentheses. Minus a negative. Now, we don't just want to memorize the rule, but as we work with it more and more, we'll realize this becomes addition, really. Negative 3 plus 2. Where do you get below? Negative 1. 12 plus a negative 1 gets us to our winning spot. And Mark is sad because everybody else has already won. Annie, what about Mark? He's at negative 14.
I was right. Okay. So, stop it. We wrote. Wait.
Stop it.
Call my friend. Call on my friend. Okay, I don't know if this is right or not, but I have a guess. Negative 3 times negative 1, and I think that'd be 3, right?
Who can verify? Is this gonna be 3?
Yeah.
Why?
Because 1 times anything always equals that number.
1 times anything equals that number, and the opposite of that. So guys, multiplication by negative 1 is the same thing as just the opposite. So the opposite of negative 3 is 3.
And then, well, this is where I think it's wrong, because I said negative 14 subtract 3.
You're not allowed to
So I'm
subtract.
not allowed to subtract.
You have to just do what the number tells you. But
negative 14 minus 3.
you'd be at negative
17.
17.
Yeah.
Addition gets us
At negative
to negative 11. Because it tells me to move to the right. Remember, you add. Guys, so the big thing is I think some of us might play this game outside of class. I can print more of these too. The way that you can play this without any technology, grab a paper clip and a pencil. Your pencil holds down the paper clip on your spinner in the middle. And then you just flick it. Or that way. You can make a spinner that easy. So pencil, paper clip, you've got your spinner on the sheet. You guys can play this whenever you want. But the big thing is you cannot change the direction of the combined number. So this combined value is 3. It's got to go right. When my combined value is negative, it's got to go left on the game board. So we're adding. You add a positive, go right. Add a negative, go left. Cool? Feel free to play this to your heart's content. Take it home, confuse your brother, sister, bet lots of money.
This is how you go to Phoenix Fair.
Yeah, there you go, Phoenix Fair. All right, so check out 81 with your teams. Roger and his brother. I told you guys, we're gonna take this home. You love the game so much. Roger took it home. These are very like old, strong male names. Hank and Roger. Roger and Hammerstein. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Use some numbers to think about this. Use some numbers to think about this. If I had 4 sets, right, positive, 4 sets of 3 negatives, what would I have? 12 negatives, right? 4 sets of 3 negatives, 12 negatives. If I have negative 3 times 4, same thing. Whether we switch the order around, if there's 1 negative, the answer comes out negative. Now, here's what else might help. Up there, multiplication division rules. When there's 2 numbers being used, different sign gives you a negative answer. Same sign will get you a positive answer. I'll move those yellow triangles to the bottom. Yo!
I have a question.
Sweet.
Has anyone ever set up like a poker thing in Phoenix?
I doubt it because gambling's illegal. And you're also a minor.
I forgot about that.
That little thing, you know, that minors
Oh,
can't gamble.
we can bet cans. Actually, you can be
Hey, remember that game that got jacked up?
From negative 10 to positive.
There's that color.
You can do that.
Or, have you ever played 21 Flex? Are there any from that you should play a bunch of 21 Flex? It's like, you don't only take away the max.
We have 5 minutes left. I'll bring you back in to debrief in 2. 2 minutes left to talk as your teams. Make them pairs at a time. Make them pairs, follow those rules. Because think about it. The opposite. I got it right. If you want to try to think about a negative times a negative, the opposite of 5 sets of negative 2. Let's say, forget about that for a minute. 5 sets of negative 2 would be 10 negatives. Then the opposite of those 10 negatives would be 10 positives. Because I have 5 sets, each with 2 negatives, this would make 10 negatives. You with me for that? Then the opposite of that would actually be 10 positives. Because we can also think of negative as meaning opposite.
You can't get positive higher.
Yeah, look.
Like in one spin.
We gotta do this. Wait, no. 3 times 2. No. Oh my God.
All right, bring it back in, please. Are there any numbers that people believe we cannot make? Mina?
5.
No, we can't.
Can anybody show us how we can make 5? If Mina thinks we can't,
3 plus 2.
can I get a 3 and a 2 at the same time? No, I cannot. Is there any other way that I could potentially make 5?
You can make negative 5.
We assume you're starting at 0.
Yeah, we're trying to make a move, right? So it doesn't matter where we start, actually. We're trying to make the move. And we get the value of 5. Negative 5 we can make because we can get a negative 3 and a negative 2.
We can't make 7 and negative.
Yes, you can.
So we'll leave. Wait, how could you make 5?
I think it's negative 5, right? Or positive?
No, we said we can make negative 5. Nina's saying we can't make positive. Al, you think we can't make 10?
Right.
Can anyone make 10? Any operation between the two spinners. Anything else we can't make? Run through the list. See, can we make negative 10? Can we make negative 9? Yeah.
Any prime number.
Now, what do you mean by above? Outside of, or what? Like?
Above a higher value or
Can I add to make prime numbers though?
yeah.
I know I can't multiply to make prime numbers. I could divide and get the result of a prime number. Like 14 divided by 2 would be 7. 7's prime. But I don't have numbers that big here. But I just be careful when you make rules, making generalizations. You gotta like double check it. Can we make 7?
We can make negative 7.
That's not what we're asking. So we can't make positive 7. So this is where I leave you today. Now hold up, listen to me as you start to pack up. Next week we will finish this chapter, which means there will be a team assessment as well as an individual assessment that actually will go in math. So please do your homework and come Monday with any questions you have from any of these homeworks so far. Cool? Have a great weekend. Go enjoy the gorgeous weather that we're going to have. Nah, it's going to be a high of like 75. It's perfect. Can't make negative 7? Hey, we got another hypothesis that we can't make negative 7. What? Sure, I may not be able to reply. Like I have calling hours to go through and stuff this weekend, but you can always text me. Text is very low key.